the rule was the kids weren't allowed to go in the water above here. And so the kids were playing, the ball got away from them, was drifting out into the lake, and so they were going to come in and ask Mom to go get it. So Liz and Phil are coming in, and Phil, as his manner is, he would dive down and swim under the water and then come up. Well, Liz gets all the way out to Mommy and said, Mommy, you come get the ball. And Mommy goes, where's Phil? Well, he's right behind me. No, where's Phil? So she's looking and there's no Phil. She looks over the beach area and the water, can't see him. She goes to the lifeguard. They look, they can't find him. Well, 2 weeks earlier, a kid went underwater for whatever reason and got sucked by a rip current down to the jetty. So the lifeguard headed that direction with Joanne. He was diving in off of the jetty to try to find Phil. Couldn't find him. Joanne prayed and told the lifeguard, dive in right there. Lifeguard dove in and there was Phil. Came up with Phil. Lifeless Phil. The lifeguard started CPR. Police officer came and helped out with the CPR. They got him breathing again. He was still he was unconscious but breathing, heartbeat, breathing. And they took him to the hospital. Joanne sent Liz home, knowing that, when Tim and I got home, where is everybody? Tim and I had just gotten out to the college where we were going when God told me, you need to get home. So we got a quick drink of water and we headed home. 5-mile bicycle ride back to the house. So that's going to take, 45 minutes. So we get home and, we parked the bikes, went in the back door. Hello, anybody home? Nobody. They're down at the beach. Okay, that's where they're supposed to be. So Tim and I head out the front door. We get to the porch door, and Liz is coming up. And Liz goes, Phil drowned, Mommy's at the hospital. That was the message I received. Phil drowned, Mommy's at the hospital. I said, okay, Tim, you stay here with Liz. I'll go find out what's going on. So I go down to the hospital 4 or 5 blocks away, and I walk into the ER, and I look for Joanne. I said, what's going on? She told me, so I said, okay, let's pray. So we prayed, and then we called my parents out at Gunnison at Away Family Camp, and they got the camp praying. We called back to the Indiana campus and got the campus praying. And then I went to the doctor and I said, I need to see my son. Well, you can't. I said, yes, I can. I'm his minister. You cannot deny me to go in and see this individual. So I went in and I ministered to Phil. And they said, okay, he's going to go Flight for Life helicopter to Milwaukee Children's Hospital. You can meet him up there. So I said, okay. So we went home, got a babysitter, and Joanne and I headed up to the hospital in Milwaukee. We get in there, and the first thing we do is we say, okay, doctor, what is it you want to see happen? Well, the doctor said, well, we want him to regain his consciousness. We want him to be disoriented. He gave him a list of things that he wanted to see. Him to be agitated. And we said, okay, here's what we've taught our kids. We've taught our kids to believe God. When we say, settle down, you're okay, they will settle right down. So, now remember, there was a kid that was there happened 2 weeks ago. He's still there at the hospital unconscious. So about 15 minutes later, Phil regains consciousness. He's agitated. He's acting just like the doctor wanted him to act. Joanne goes right up to him and says, "Phil, settle down. You're in the hospital. You're okay." Phil settled right down. The doctor looked at us and said, "I'm impressed." And we said, "Okay, now what do you want to see happen?" He gave us a list of the next things they wanted to see happen. We said, "Okay." Less than 72 hours after Phil went into the hospital, he was back home. We have the front page newspaper to show you the timeline. Near drowning incident, Lake Michigan. 3 days later, front page, miraculous recovery. We knew that deliverance isn't complete unless there's no fear. We took him right back down to the beach where it happened. He got to shake hands and thank the lifeguard because the high school kid, was there working the beach again. And we played in the water. Okay, he's in first grade. He's between his first and second grade years in school. When he was in high school, he was a lifeguard at the YMCA. He taught swim lessons at the YMCA. There is no fear. Deliverance is complete.